Hello and welcome to the Merle and Locke podcast. I'm Merle.
And I'm Locke.
Set sail and low expectations for everything nerd, accompanied by healthy, albeit shameful help and pointless banter, lack of focus, and questionably acquired knowledge.
And more.
And more. I wanted to get into a little something about social media in general. I know it's a hot topic. You know, a lot of people have a lot of opinions. I understand that. I was talking to a buddy recently. He was having a hard time with an episode of anxiety in bed at night, and he was doing something that has coined the term doomscrolling.
Well aware of that.
Most of us who delve into social media are guilty of this. I've done it countless times. It's awful. It's addictive.
It's not without purpose. That's how they create their sites now. They want to do everything that they can to keep faces on the screen because that gets them views and makes them look good.
Most of the time when we're on social media and doing this thing we call doom scrolling, it's mostly for validation of our own opinions. I'm just throwing this out there. I'm suggesting that it's not exactly catered to our own opinions for nefarious purposes. It's more so the algorithm sees what we spend the most time on, and then it gives us the things that are of a similar variety, where if we have an idea of something and then we see a video that is validating that our opinion of it, we spend more time watching it, and then the algorithm goes, oh, you like that opinion, so I'll give you more of that, further solidifying us in that belief. Rather than giving us opportunity to broaden our perspectives, it more so just validates and encourages one particular perspective. And I've found myself on more than a handful of occasions doing some doom scrolling, having a stronger opinion in one sense over another, and then being fed that constantly until the point where I start getting anxious or depressed. But then I catch myself saying, what the hell am I doing? I need to escape this. Now, the whole doom scrolling thing, it's poisonous, yes, but we need to remember to remain mindful of what we're doing. I understand that it gives us a better understanding in that particular subject or that particular point of view, and it creates subject matter for conversation, with our peers that share our opinions. I get that, and we don't want to miss out. We want to stay current. We want to sound at least somewhat educated or intelligent on the subject. But right. Like I said before, it only gives you one perspective, and that's a horrible way to be. We all know this. I mean, I feel like most people know this, that a lack of empathy creates a more solitary life. If you're stuck in your ways, it starts to tear apart at your community with people that have differing opinions, and rather than finding common ground or understanding with one another, it's been thrown at us time and again. That's kind of what we've been falling to as this world goes on with all this social media bullshit.
And it is bullshit.
There's ways of fighting back, sure, by just not falling victim to it. But I feel like the best medicine for it is just to put it down and walk outside.
And grab a full handful of grass.
Yeah, there you go. Go touch grass.
Go touch grass.
It's awful what it's doing to people. People are afraid to leave their homes because they feel like as soon as they step out in the street, cops are going to be shooting people. There's going to be folks that are looting and rioting and burning down buildings. But you walk outside and there's sunshine. Neighbor walks past and says, hey, how you doing? How you been? Haven't seen you in a while. Go grab the mail. You walk back, there's a nice breeze and the smell of, a distant barbecue on the wind. You see kids playing in the park, having a good time. Everyone's happy and cheery. And you go home, sit in your dark room, get on your phone, and then the fucking world is burning, It's pretty awful what it does to us and the idea that it gives us of the world. Because, it's just fear-mongering, right? And it gets views. We think it's the end times. It's not. Everybody just calm down and get off your fucking phones.
Well, so the other thing is It's not just a matter of the doom scrolling either, right? So as you said, the longer you stare at something, the algorithm says you like this. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I hate watch things. I know some other people do. You find something of somebody with a differing opinion than you because you want to hear the other side. The unfortunate part to wanting to hear the other side is now the algorithm says you like this kind of thing. And I go, no, now I got nothing but flat earth theories and all this other wrong opinion stuff. Maybe thinking about it. Now I know it can be a little convoluted and mean that you got to do a lot of things, right? Is have 2 accounts.
Oh, okay.
Right? So you got your account that you use for your hate watching. That way, if you really want to see what the other opinion is, you just log on to that account. Now for the videos you actually enjoy and the opinions that you agree with, you use the other profile. Now you'll really see a difference as to what videos are recommended to you at that point or what posts are recommended to you at that point. But for people who might be bad with passwords and keeping accounts, I know a lot of people who aren't great with remembering their emails or passwords for things, so might not be a good thing for you. But in that case, just don't hate watch things. Ignore the other side. Be blissfully unaware of what the other opinions are. Save yourself some trouble.
I was trying to imagine what it is that has people hooked. I remember reading this article talking about B.F. Skinner, who did that test on narcissistic behavior. He was doing an experiment with rats where he would have them pull this lever or push down on this lever and food pellets would come out. And so you push the lever, you get a food pellet. Then he took away all the food pellets and they would push on the lever, expecting, food pellets,
Right,
but get nothing. So they just stopped using the lever because they got nothing from it. But then he set up the lever to sporadically give pellets every now and again. They became obsessed with this lever. Right. And they would just keep pushing it, trying to get the food. Even if they weren't hungry, they would just keep pushing it, trying to stockpile the gratification that they would get from getting those food pellets. Now, that's pretty much akin to being in something such as a relationship with a narcissistic person, where you would constantly put forth all this effort to earn these rewards from your partner, knowing that sometimes they would give you love or appreciation or whatever it may be, and sometimes they just wouldn't give you anything at all. And it's become addictive, where it would just completely ruin a person because after experiencing that narcissistic behavior, they become not necessarily addicted to that person, but addicted to that behavior, incorporating it into their life where they would pursue other partners who would treat them the same way. So going after that gratification, it's an addiction. I want to relate that to social media as well, where you would constantly scroll through seeking out validation or satisfaction. It would be like you were being strung along until you felt satisfied, but you never would. You're never satisfied at the end of one of those sessions.
all right, yeah.
You'll have people that are sharing your opinion or whatever it may be, but they're portraying it in a way that makes you uncomfortable or depressed or anxious rather than tying it up with a nice ribbon and being satisfied and being able to put your phone down and be like, okay, I'm good for today. You never get that satisfaction, but you constantly chase it because maybe it gets up your dopamine levels or whatever it may be. Initially, the chase, but you're never satisfied by the end of it. So, I mean, maybe it's a bit of a stretch trying to compare the two, but I was trying to make sense of it as to why so many people go after it. I mean, I myself, whenever I do it and I become mindful of it and say, what the hell am I doing? I need to get away from this. I find myself the very next night, lay down in bed, I'll just scroll through a little bit. And then it's 1 a.m. and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what? I lost so much time. I feel awful. I feel hateful and anxious and depressed, the state of the world. even though I know full well that's not the state of the world. It's just specific happenings in different places, considering like the billions of people on this earth. It's such a rarity, all these cases. And I think it's all over the place, but that's just my idea of it, why it can be so addictive. I would love to hear why you do it in particular.
I used to do a lot of doom scrolling, whether it was on FaceCrack or back when MySpace was popular, just kind of scrolling through, seeing how people are doing and whatnot. And I know a lot of people now, they doom scroll through TikTok, and I just don't see the appeal anymore. I've gotten out of that wanting to. Now, I still occasionally will scroll through my funny apps, the stuff that supplies me memes to give me the dopamine levels that I need before I go to bed at night.
Sure, yeah.
I need some like funny animal videos where cats are doing stupid things. Make me always wish I could own a lion just because there's a cute video of a lion loving up a human.
Oh boy.
I'm like, yeah, I want one.
I want a lion now.
I could tame him.
let me head over to my local shelter this weekend and get myself a lion.
Yeah, and I always get told the most upsetting answer, no, we cannot have those. Those will eat your cat alive. And I go, no, they'll be siblings. It'll all be okay. They wouldn't eat their sibling. But I mean, I have my ways of doom scrolling. Some days I'm just not in the mood for it though.
Yeah, which I mean, that's the way to be, right? Because I feel like it's become a go-to out of habit.
I do feel it is a habit, but I also feel like it is a part of your boredom. You know that you want to do something, right? You feel like you should be accomplishing something, but you don't know what that is. So you find a vice, you find something to give you a modicum of satisfaction for the day. And you're like, oh, well, I scrolled through it long enough. I think I'm good for the day. But some people don't know where that line is. They just haven't found the spot where they should be like, okay, I should be done. That's it.
Well, I mean, it's convenient, it's so convenient as something that gives you, some kind of rise in dopamine levels. Maybe that's what it is. Convenience is a killer of well-being.
We have these mini computers in our hands, right? So it's right there. Why not, right? I don't have to get up. I don't have to go to my computer screen. I can just open up my phone and quick do a little scrolly scroll.
It's awful because I remember even at Christmas, I was over at my daughter's mom's house. We were prepping some food. My daughter's, she was off playing with her new Christmas presents, and I was sitting there with her mom and her mom's boyfriend, and they were just on their phones scrolling through social media. And I was sitting there awkwardly trying not to look at them or just
they look up, catch you just staring them down.
Because I mean, like, I wasn't looking at my phone because I mean, I was there and I felt weird because I was like, am I a weirdo? I don't know. I don't know what to look at. We don't have a TV on or anything. I'm just sitting there looking at the oven waiting for the food to cook because they're scrolling on their phones.
It almost like forces you to then go, should I look at my phone? And maybe that's a part of it too, like your family events or whatever. One person pulls out their phone, then another, until we're all sitting awkwardly at the kitchen table with our phones in our hands, not uttering a single word to each other.
That's the problem, because I remember I tried to start up conversation. I would say something that could lead into a discussion, but then I would get nothing. Just a very short response.
They give you a little quick, uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, well, gotta think of something else.
That's it. When you start out a conversation with somebody holding their phone and staring at it, you got to like make it very entertaining. You have to almost come at them and hope they don't panic because you just rip their phone out of their hand. And you're like, pay attention to me.
Witness me.
And then you realize you're no longer invited to family or friend events because you're the weirdo. You know it.
Yeah. If you enjoy the Merle and Locke podcast, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/MerleandLocke or simply follow the link in the description. Thank you.